right now. Is that your location behind you?
Oh, that looks
Yeah,
nice.
Jackie.
I wish.
I know.
I wish I was
Oh,
traveling.
my name is spelled wrong. I'm looking. We can change that perhaps.
Oh, that's you though, isn't it, Marina? On your Zoom account. That's you.
Oh, he's
That's
in the universe. Look at him. Okay.
That's not the spelling of my name, so I don't know.
Oh, there's Larry. Hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Good evening. Hi, there we are.
Hi, Sherry.
Hello. Hey,
Hi,
Sherry.
Elizabeth. Hi, Liz.
Hi.
Liz. Hi, Melinda.
Hi.
All right.
Oh, I got the top of my
Hi,
head.
Violet.
Hello.
Marina. Wait, where am I?
Jackie, come on. Yay.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Melinda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm going to
Good.
start the meeting. Give me one moment.
Thank you very much for
Thanks,
taking care of
Dan.
this.
Thank you. Yes. So sorry, you guys. We had a mix-up on the time, I think, was essentially what happened.
Yeah, no, the notice I got said the meeting started at the webinar started at 7, but usually it's set up to begin a half hour before the meeting starts. So give me one moment and
Dan, can you hear me? This is Robert.
hey, Robert.
Hey,
Hi, how are you?
Can I make you the host?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good meeting, Arts Council.
Hey, Robert,
Thanks.
thank you very much for jumping in.
Where is
No
Robert?
problem. We don't have a camera on this computer, sorry. So
Okay.
you're just hearing my voice.
Okay, can somebody unmute Solange? Because she's on a phone and it says
I think it
she's
unmuted.
muted throughout the meeting. Can we
I
unmute her?
unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay, great.
There we go.
All right.
I can't get on this number. Oh, right, maybe.
Oh, so nice to see you all.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm gonna recording. I'm gonna go live on YouTube
Okay.
right now. Give me one moment.
I can't get on.
Okay.
Hi, Janet.
Who's Janet?
I see oh, sorry, Jane. I'm sorry.
Oh, hi.
Jane.
That's why I've known her for a long time.
I could be a Janet. I could be a Janet.
Yeah, Janet.
All right. Should we start the meeting then? I have a time constraint because of a school conflict. So I have to jump off right at 7:45. So let's see how much we can get through quickly, I guess. And if not, we'll just continue on. Oh, or Marina, did you want to do this part? What?
Yeah, I guess I'll do it because you're
Okay.
jumping off.
Okay.
So, hi,
Okay.
everybody. Thanks.
Hi.
Thanks for coming. I'm glad we're live. Hi, Solange. And Joyce Marie, are you there too, I guess? I think she is. She's probably muted. Carrie, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, good. Hi.
All right. So does somebody want to call the meeting to order and we'll get going?
I'll
Sure.
call it to order, so that's fine.
I'll second it.
Great.
Who was that?
Not on the
Jane. That was Jane.
Okay.
Okay. So welcome, everybody. We all may notice that we have a couple of extra people here, one that we can't see and one that we can. So Liz O'Rourke. Elizabeth, would you prefer Elizabeth or Liz?
Liz is totally fine. Liz is fine. Yeah.
Hi, Liz. Nice to see you in person. I've spoken with you, but we haven't seen each other
Nice
yet.
to see you
So,
too.
welcome to Liz. And in a second, you'll have a moment to introduce yourself. And welcome to Carrie also.
Thank you.
So we're really looking forward to expanding the council and joining efforts with both of you. So do each one of you want to just say hello and tell us a little bit something about what brought you to us, your interest? I mean, I know we kind of tapped you.
Sorry.
No problem. But just something about your background. And, you know.
Sure. I can go. Well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be on the Arts Council. I came to the Arts Council really through Jane. I've been teaching quarterly lectures at the library, poetry lectures that are now monthly, and Jane has been one of my loyal attendees. So Jane suggested, I think it was last fall, that I look into it, and then sent me a wonderful reminder just this fall to send my letter and my resume. I went to Boston College for my undergraduate and studied English, and then I came to poetry school at Sarah Lawrence when I moved to New York. So I mostly, write and submit when I can. I teach at the library, and then we have a wonderful, outside of COVID time, we have a wonderful poetry open mic that we do at Wellington's, and it's through the Harrison Library actually, but we have kind of a pretty regular crew, and that usually goes off on Tuesdays each month. And I've been living in Mamaroneck since 2007. So I lived over in kind of in the flats for a few years, and now I'm in Rhinebeck, and I have 2 little girls. My oldest daughter just turned 6, and my younger is 2, almost 3. So we're kind of in the Rhinebeck school scene right now, and I'm really looking forward to being able to kind of ease out of that baby phase and do some more work with the town and lend my talents if they'd be helpful.
Right.
Would be helpful. And we welcome you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jane, for the recommendation.
Okay.
Carrie, do you want to say hello?
Sure. Hi. I'm sorry my video doesn't seem to be working, but I came to the council through Violet, actually, whom I've known since we were 14 years old. There's a lot of history there.
Wow.
And
That was last year.
that was last year, just right. I have a background in publishing, mostly technical publishing, computers, business, science, and I've actually been working as a freelance editor for the past, since 2007. I'm not really great in math, so the year is there. Also, I lived in Brooklyn for about 17 years before I moved back to Westchester. I grew up in Eastchester. Now I've been living in Mamaroneck since 2003, and I'm so excited to be on this council also. Thank you for this opportunity. I have written and I write poetry and speculative fiction, which is basically, it encompasses horror, soft science fiction for me, fantasy of different sorts, weird fiction, which is actually a British subset of horror. It's like quiet supernatural fiction. I've been published in places I'm sure you've never heard of and never will hear of. I've also published one book with Permuted Press, and I've got a couple of others that I'm working on. And that's it. The 2-minute elevator talk, that's all.
Great.
But I'm glad to be here. Thanks a lot. This is great.
Thank you. Thank you, Carrie, and welcome.
Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I also want to welcome you back, Jackie, because you've been away from us and we've missed you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I missed you all, and hopefully back now for good. So
And my condolences
yeah.
on the loss of
Thank
your
you.
father.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's just go back a little bit, and we need to just approve the minutes from the last meeting. So did everybody get a chance to read through the minutes? Did anybody have any changes that needed to be made, or any comments? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes. I will.
I'll second it or I'll approve it.
Okay, Jane, and who'll second it?
Melinda.
Melinda? Okay, excellent. Okay, good. So I am working on, we're missing the minutes from November of 2019. I'm working on recreating them. So I might send out a quick note just asking if you guys were there, and if you have any notes from that meeting, I'll try to figure that out. We've got all the rest of them up there now. So,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that is just for the new people. That is our one thing that we are required to do, is to take minutes and then pass them on to Sally and the Board of Trustees, where they see what we're up to. They have to be approved, and people have to, say yes. And now this is all recorded, so it is all actually recorded. So they can check, and it's all there. So anyway, okay. Back to you, Marina.
All right, so now we're just going to go through the projects that are ongoing and that we're working on. The first one that I'll update you on is the mask quilt. We've actually made some progress. Rhinebeck Middle School and Rhinebeck High School have both signed on to help us. So they have a box of masks, and I'm really excited about that because that'll bring us well over 100. And
I have about 6 I have to give to you this week.
Are any of them yours, Jane?
One. Maybe I can make another one. I'll see.
I mean, all of us on the council have to contribute something.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're counting on you. And so here, I know you saw them on the poster, but this is live. Masks.
Yay.
Those are gorgeous.
Masks.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Corona mask, unfortunately.
You said
Lots of masks.
So just to update the new people, Marina is collecting and people are painting on disposable masks, and they're going to be put together in a quilt and displayed at the library. So if you have any disposable masks that you want to paint on with your kids or paint on yourselves, or just start painting and get them to Marina.
The deadline was supposed to be tomorrow. Has it been extended?
Yes.
Good point, Larry. Yes, we are looking at a flexible deadline of early November.
Okay.
You know, extended by the pandemic, by the fact of the pandemic itself. So
Rhinebeck School and Rhinebeck Middle School is what it was, elementary?
Rhinebeck High School and Rhinebeck Middle School.
Okay, just like I forgot, I didn't get the high school.
Mamaroneck Middle School and high school were both invited, and many times. I just haven't heard back from them yet. So
Did you invited Homix?
Yes. I don't know who I invited.
All right.
Yeah.
It's so crazy at the schools, you know, maybe it's just too much right now with their whole cohort system and half hybrid, their hybrid model. It's just, I know it's been challenging. So maybe that's part of it.
It might be worth trying Girl Scouts again because some of the troops are back meeting. They didn't meet over the summer.
Okay.
So I can send an email to Pat Allen.
No. Shush.
Did you say you're going to send? You can send an email. That would be
I'll
great.
send an email. I'll send an email to Pat and copy you.
That would be great. Yeah.
Okay.
And the more participation, the better, of course. And then Liz and Melinda both volunteered to help curate the big canvas. So, you know, that will be taking place in November. And anybody else who wants to jump in, please let me know. And then the idea is to have it at the library by early December.
Great.
What's the
We know
process?
we're a little flexible here.
What's the process for sewing it together?
I haven't brought this up to the committee yet, but I do know 2 sewers that one has volunteered and one would want to be paid a little bit to do it. But it would be sewn, like once we pin all of these things, almost like the poster, and I don't have that poster handy right now, but we've all seen it.
Yeah.
So these would be, you know, pinned on with their little cords so that you can actually tell they're masks onto black canvas, onto a black canvas that's about 6 feet by 8 feet, so large. And the space has been indicated at the library. They told us where we can do it, and it's right in the entrance. As soon as you walk into the Mamaroneck Library, it would be on the right. So that would be nice. And then they would actually, once we pin them on and kind of curate where all of these are going, some of them are better than others. There are kids that participated from the RIY, and lots of little kids, not lots, but little kids, you know, their work doesn't quite stand out like this, so we'll have to figure out a way to intersperse everybody so that everybody's represented, but it still carries an impact when we see it, a visual impact.
And Marina, is there going to be a list of the participants somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the degree that we have names, and I know I've been collecting names as I've gotten them, you know, to those that indicated their names. I think the idea is we'll just frame a typed list of all the participants. Yeah.
Right, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anybody else have questions about the mask project?
I just want to say, don't pay anybody. I could help
whoever else agreed to sew with sewing.
Yeah,
room.
I have a friend that sews as well that I know would be happy to help too.
Yeah.
Who just
I can
said that?
sew.
Who just offered to
Barry
say
and
it?
Melinda. Melinda.
And
Oh.
Karen.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, I just popped up.
Oh,
You
hi.
too.
Wow, there she is.
Hi.
So Melinda and Sherry.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
I'm happy to help curate too.
Thanks, Larry. Perfect. I'll put
Great.
you down. Two things. One is that Liz has to jump off at 7:30. So thank you for even joining us tonight, because I know it was last minute. But I'm announcing your departure just in case you have to go. Feel free. And then Jackie's leaving 15 minutes after that. So either one of you jump in if you want to say something before you leave, of course. Violet, do you want to give any thoughts on Art on the Avenue? I know that we're still far away from it, but
It's just brewing. Nothing has actually been done or taken place because there's so much flux. I mean, I don't know to begin to approach people on the avenue when they're in that state where everything is, it's COVID.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're planning on. I feel when they're there with their customers is not the time to come and talk to them because they're trying to survive. But at the same time, I don't know if I should put together a letter, if I should just deliver a letter. There had been some questions about the getting the Chamber of Commerce involved, which
I think the first steps, so for the new members, Art on the Avenue is a work in progress. And do you want to describe it, Violet?
Yeah, it's what my initial idea is to have people in the community, and not just artists in the professional or tutored sense of the word, to paint something that inspires them is what I think we're going to try and go for, and have their artwork displayed in different establishments on the avenue. Where local people can come, and then we can advertise it as an art walk. And they can go from establishment to establishment, see what's available, bring more business to the avenue, and also raise the level of community awareness to art. Because too many people have this idea of art as being only for artists. And that's the only people that make art, and that other art is not valuable because it's not art with a capital A and quotation marks and underlined in bold. So that was my initial idea, and I'm fairly new to the council. I'm actually maybe almost a year, I guess. And this is the first one that I'm promoting or projecting out to people, and I'm in a little bit of a idea of how I'm going to actually make this a reality, from getting the supplies to people that may not be artists, that have no idea of how to create art, possibly doing Zoom classes or some type of a tutorial where they will get some basics and then let them have at it.
I've talked to John from Barley's. I asked him, I live near there, and I asked him, I walked by one day and saw paintings outside in his little outdoor cafe, or terrace as he calls it. So I asked him if he'd be interested to participate as being, like to have it in his bar, and he said yes. And then a couple weeks later, and I had talked to Marina about the initial thing, gave her John's information. He introduced me to the artist, who is a good friend of his. So I took the guy's card. I sent the information to Marina. I don't know if you ever got his stuff. I might still have the card.
I didn't get that. I got the information that you'd spoken with him, but I didn't get the name of the artist.
Okay, so I'll look for the card again, and I'll try. I think I sent it twice, but I'll send it again.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking with John, though.
Yeah. And so the friend was very excited about it also to be a participant as on the artist level.
Violet, there are some cafes in coffee shops around, I'm in Great Barrington at the moment, up around here, and what they do is they'll feature an artist for maybe a period of 30 days or so, and then there is sort of like the opening night or the opening day. And one cafe does it like a call, they'll do like a call to creatives, and then they'll you know, there'll be sort of an advertisement, and they'll say, this is what we're looking for. Between 5 and 7 pieces of your work, whether it's watercolor or photography or prints or media, anything. And would you like to be considered in this group of artists? And, you know, you can name it. Sometimes they do, you know, best under 30, or you could do, you know, something about Mamaroneck. And then maybe if you had enough, you could maybe have a spotlight on each artist at each place that is willing to do it. Like, I bet Roaster Cafe would maybe allow that. I bet, actually, I think Moonlight on the Ave is now closed, but I thought Crystal might do that. But you might be able to just have sort of a little spotlight on each creative, which might make it a little bit more cohesive, and have sort of like an opening walk-through night. And then people could even purchase the prints or whatever if they wanted to.
Okay. That's definitely a possibility. I mean, there's so many possibilities that the question is how to approach it, because we've never done this before, how to get the word out. And also in some of the places, they may not have the space to have anything more than just one piece. Versus having 4 or 5 pieces. And again, the whole bigger problem is how to do this when you can't have a gallery type event with, you know, with the promotions and everything else, because it won't meet the COVID criteria. So, I mean, there's this, so I don't know. We're going to try and see if we can do something smaller for April, and perhaps with everything get some momentum going to do something a little bit bigger in the fall, with the hopes that a lot of the restraints that we're having in terms of gathering, in terms of offering things to people, aren't limited by the fact that you can't have more than 10 people in a place or 50 people in any.
So I know that the galleries in the city are just limiting the number of people in at a certain time. So I think that people could still go and see the work, but they might have to wait outside for a couple minutes. And I think the number is like 8 or something. So, you know, I've never even, I mean, I've only gone in once, but I didn't have to wait. You just kind of stroll in and stroll out. So I think it's possible. It's definitely possible. There's not like, you know, tons of people who want to be in a closed, you know, tight space. I think it's a nice way to maybe generate some interest for the restaurants and cafes, just for people even to poke in and say hi and get a coffee or whatever. So I think it has a lot of potential.
I think so too.
2 cents.
And I think the place to start is we have to take control of it. We don't go to the vendors, we don't go to the restaurants until we have a total airtight concept of what it is we're offering.
That's
but that's where we start. So the question of like, do we talk to the restaurants? Do we ask them? We don't. I think, you know, if you want to form a committee, I think we kind of did already.
No, it's you.
Who's on that subcommittee? Just so I know, who's on it? Jane. Yeah.
I was on it with
Larry.
Violet. We met once.
Okay.
That's it.
So in order to move this forward, if between now and the next meeting, I think it's time that we at least conceptualize this and figure out what we anticipate to be the parameters of the event. Then we can get a draft together of what we imagine to propose to the restaurants, the cafes, like you said, Liz. And yes, Violet, it might be smaller scale, but you know, we can anticipate what that's going to look like. And then Larry and Jane, and did anybody else say that they're on that committee? So it's Larry, Jane, and myself right now, and anybody else who wants to join. Violet, if you want to take the initiative and just get us all together on a Zoom or on a telephone call or whatever is good for you, or individually, let's try to have that done. a good time to say that the next meeting is not the second Wednesday of the month, which for Elizabeth or for Liz and Carrie, our meetings are always the second Wednesday of the month at 7 o'clock on Zoom or in person. But next month in November, the second Wednesday is Veterans Day. So we're going to be meeting here on Monday, November 2nd, election eve. And we can and anticipate speaking a little bit about art on the avenue, at least what we've collected in our minds at that point. I also think, based on what you were just saying, Liz, of featuring different artists, is a good segue to Sherry right now, because maybe we can get the artists up online on this virtual marketplace that you're thinking about doing too. So, off to you.
Okay. Actually, you got to do this on your upper other corner.
Right. Oh, see, we're all looking like you're down there for me.
You're down
there. All right. So here's what I want everyone to do. I want you all to go to Facebook, and I want you all to find the Arts Council Facebook page. Now, it's going to look different for those of us who are administrators on the page and those of us who are just visitors. But regardless, on our Facebook page, there's a big blue button where our cover photo is that says visit group. And if you click on, first of all, if you have not followed our Facebook page, please do that, because you are members of the council and everyone should like our page. And then once you do that, you click on the visit group, and that the only group we have is the Arts and Crafts Marketplace. And if you could join that, I think it says follow, join, become a member, something.
Yeah, for the public group we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. It comes up. The marketplace comes up. I see it. Okay. Your membership is.
Yeah, so it comes up. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I've kind of gone back and forth with Asha O'Reilly a little bit, but she's super busy with school and everything, and she just hasn't been able to meet with me, which is fine. I kind of wanted to talk to her mostly about how to connect this with Instagram and all that, but that, you know, can come later. So what I wanted everybody to do is to take a look around it when you apply for membership, and it's a public group, but so some questions come up. And I want to know, does everybody think the questions are fine, or would you add something? The second thing is there are rules to being in the group. And if everyone could look at what the rules are and see if they're okay, or if you think that anything should be added or changed or whatever. That's the second thing. So basically, once the council has looked at this and says, yeah, it's fine, go ahead, I'm going to send an email to all the artists who we've worked with before over the past 10 years with the Arts and Crafts Fair, and ask them if they would like to join. And it's kind of like a free Etsy marketplace, as it were. The only difference, so what happens is whatever artists want to join, they'll post their art or their craft or their jewelry, whatever they have, and shoppers will also join the marketplace, and they'll be able to connect with the artist or the craftsperson directly. And so what happens is the craftsperson will have a link on their post, and they could work out with the shopper directly how to buy and sell what they have. So the Arts Council becomes the gateway and the facilitator, but we do not have anything to do with the taking of money and buying or selling. I think that setting it up this way and not having it be, so when someone posts something, only the artists will be allowed to post. And setting it up the way it is, where we have to approve a post, I think is necessary, because you don't want people soliciting other things or making any kind of statement that, you know, this is a totally apolitical, just completely a marketplace.
Mhm.
But the rules do say, you know, if you're going to comment or whatever, you got to be kind and courteous and, you know, all that stuff. I will, you know, manage the page and manage the post requests. And if anyone complains or, you know, whatever, I can manage that. And then once we have a good amount of people, we can start trying, well, I'll ask Asha how to link, you can't link the buying and selling to Instagram, but you can link PR to Instagram. You know what I mean?
Can we link their profiles? Like if they each want to do like one, you know, profile of their work, you know, like one piece, one,
yeah,
with their name, a banner for themselves. Can we do that?
Right. So that's hopefully, and that's what I kind of wanted Asha to help me with, because I can deal with Facebook and I could deal with Instagram, but I've never really dealt with connecting the two. So,
so again,
well, they are connected. Sorry, but it's hard to put links on Instagram. So maybe Asha has a way, but so
yeah,
that's a technical thing.
The links on Instagram. The links on Instagram usually are in the bio, and that's a problem because then what it's going to change every day. You know what I mean? That's why this group is on Facebook, because you can't really do this on Instagram. That's not the platform for that. But if we can, then we will. I mean, you know, like I did for the regular arts and crafts fair, what I would do was feature one artist per day in the 2 weeks leading up to the fair. And I would post, you know, something about them both on our Instagram and our Facebook. So, you know, we could do that manually if it comes to that. They can't do it. We would have to do it, obviously, because we're the administrators of each of those pages. So.
Sherry, how else are we driving business to that site?
So we could do this in a number of ways. And if people have suggestions, absolutely. I mean, I haven't even gone that far. So the first thing we're going to do is advertise it through email with the artist. We need to get the artist set up. Once we have the artists set up and engaged, then we could do PR through the regular ways. Our Facebook page, Nextdoor, Rhinebeck Moms, other Facebook pages, your pages, Patch, Low HUD, you know, all these things. Maybe we could get you know, there aren't local papers really anymore, but some news, you know, going.
We can get a press release out through Robert, right, in Genito,
yes,
and,
of course,
and on the village website. I think we should look at it like it's the arts and crafts fair that we normally have, except that it's gone virtual. Like we should try to do all the things, because I think it'll be great.
And but really cool. The difference, which is the greatest thing about this, is it's not one day. It's in perpetuity. As long as they want to do it, it can be done. And you know, it's not just going to be artists from Mamaroneck. It could be, you know, I never really limited that. It was more like the tri-state area for the arts and crafts fair. So anyone who wants to sell, you know, should.
Sherry, what's your timeline on this? When do you think we could get this up?
So I was waiting for this meeting to see what everybody's input is, but I'm really ready to go to the artists now. So as long as everybody here says they like this, they like that, or you have suggestions, you know, to change things. I know, Larry, you had said maybe different photos for the cover banner.
A little more colorful that your eye is drawn into it. The ones you have are beautiful, but they're too subtle.
So
I think they are.
I don't disagree with you. I just don't know what I have, because the art that I used were from actual craftspeople who sent in their stuff from our.
There was a gentleman last year who's a former dentist from the west side of the county who does glass. And I think we used them for a poster or something like that.
Abe? Oh, no. Stephanie Benes was the poster.
It was a gentleman then.
Abe?
And I could be. And I'm just saying that it would pop at you. You know,
yes, I know. So So let's take Abe for example. I'll have to look at Stephanie's stuff. I'll have to look through what I have. There are some people who have gorgeous stuff, but they cannot take a good photo of their stuff. And that's sort of where I am. Like I have a lot of photos. They're not quite, I can't tell you how long it took me to figure out how to post.
How many do you need? Maybe we can just take some photos.
It doesn't, well, I mean, I could look through what I have. All the artists had signed a release saying that their stuff is eligible to use in PR and stuff like that. So I see what I have is I had to download a program that makes photos a size that Facebook will take without cropping it. It's not easy.
Yeah, Facebook can be a pain with that.
It is. If you're not a graphic artist and don't have the right tools, it's really hard to get it to be the right size and everything. So
yeah, and it gets frustrating because it doesn't tell you until you try to post it. I'm sorry, this isn't the right size.
Well, you know, I changed the size of all the photographs and I grouped them together. So now all 4 are actually one, but I made it the size that it says it needed to be and it still didn't work. So it took a long time to do that. So I will definitely change the photos at some point.
How many artists, Sherry, do you anticipate?
Yeah, as many as we can get. I mean, hopefully, with the arts and crafts fair, I always had to limit it to what, 48, something like that, 45.
Yeah, because of space.
Right, because of space. Now we have no space issues, so anyone who wants to do it can do it. And
what are you going to call it, Sherry? What are you thinking of calling it? Because doesn't have to be a holiday fair anymore, right?
No, I think just what it is now, the Arts and Crafts Marketplace, the Village of Mamaroneck Arts Council Arts and Crafts Marketplace. If someone else has a better name, absolutely, let me know. I like the word marketplace.
I love marketplace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So yeah.
Sherry, I mean, to sort of launch it and get people going, maybe you do want to put something that says holidays, that is kind of gets it into people's head rather than, not permanently, but just to kind of launch it and push.
Initially.
Well, I think the better thing to do would to say to people, the Village of Mamaroneck Arts Council Holiday Arts and Crafts Fair is now the
to sort of link
marketplace. Yeah,
because people are going to look for it and say, well, they're not doing anything, and rather than thinking, okay.
Right, I could link the two things together.
Right.
Yeah.
You can also slap a banner across,
now
holidays.
Improved.
Right, exactly. That's a great idea. Let's see how long it takes me to do that.
Better you than me, because I have no clue.
Yeah.
Do we know any little Cracker Jack graphics kids that might want to join us? Like a little, we've talked about it before, but I think our weakness is really graphics, especially now with Jamie gone.
Yeah, no, it is. So if anybody knows anybody, that would be great.
Let's all put that out there and see if we can find somebody.
Yeah, I can do graphics, but I don't know what kind of graphics you want. I'm not as skilled as somebody like Jamie or Laura Bott, but I have basic.
Yeah, you have to have the right software. I mean, I'm good at graphics and I've done a lot of that in the past. It's just with Facebook, it's
the interface that's the question, really. Getting on these things, yeah.
It's not easy. But there's specific software out there that you could download that is only to put photos together for these platforms. So.
All right.
All right, that sounds exciting. So do you think by next meeting we'll have some responses?
Yeah. So if anybody has any input, just let me know as soon as you can, and or else I'll just
shoot you an email or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question that I do have actually is because I only have basically the emails from the Mamaroneck Council. I don't have individuals, or do I have to go into the Arts Council to find, like, if I want to send something just to Sherry or something to Marina to ask a question?
There's a contact list for all of us somewhere.
Yeah.
Send it. Hold on.
Have it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sally Roberts maintains a roster, which I think she distributes, which has the email addresses for all the members of the volunteer
Okay,
boards and
all right,
councils.
I'll contact her, okay.
Yeah.
If
You know,
you
she's gonna be,
on any of the emails that I've sent out, you can look and see.
Yeah.
Usually-
Right.
you click on Arts Council, it will have all the email addresses except for Carrie and Liz, because I don't think Sally's updated that yet. But she'll,
Actually, I think we might be on there.
No, I think Sally will probably update that within the next
yeah.
couple of days,
Hold
and
on.
then she'll mail it out.
Yeah, I have a question about that because I've clicked on that in the past and not the people don't come up.
Yeah.
So
I think it might, well, I think for
It's Jackie,
anyone who-
Jamie, Tom, Jane, me, Marina, Shari, Kate, Larry, Melinda.
Yeah, that's
Fine.
an old
Yeah,
list.
right.
That's
I
an
think
old
it might be
list.
for anyone who's using Microsoft Outlook. You can open it up. It'll show you all the addresses.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that works on other email
yeah,
platforms.
it doesn't.
So, but I'll do tomorrow.
And Kate has to come off of that too. So we'll figure that
Yeah.
out.
Right.
Right, that has to change.
I'll-
Jane needs off and.
I'll prod Sally to update it. And once she's updated, make sure it gets sent out to
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you, that would be great.
Just for the Arts Council, send an email with the individual roster.
When did Kate leave?
I can't tell who's asking questions. I'm so sorry.
When did Kate leave? That's the first time I'm hearing about it.
I think in April, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, she had work conflicts.
Hmm.
I think it was April that she left.
I think so. It's all like melding into the same, right?
Every day is Monday.
She left during COVID, so we know. So Carrie, Liz isn't here, but just to give you a little bit of context as to who we are in this group, the group is made up of Nora, who is our village trustee, Nora Lucas. Dan Sarnoff, where are you? There you are. Your assistant village manager, is that
Yep.
your title? And then we are members of the Arts Council and volunteers. And some of the volunteers used to be members or are volunteers in their own right. And then we have, I guess we're up to 9 members now. Is that right, Nora?
Yeah, as of last night. Yep.
As of today, yeah. So so that's who we are, and we count on our volunteers and all of the members to just jump in and volunteer for different programs that you're hearing about. You can volunteer for as many as you'd like, and we all need the help. And also we encourage you to initiate your own programs if there's something that you particularly are interested in. Whether it's related to your own work and writing, or if it's something in the arts, whatever it is. I was talking to Nora. My daughter was looking up the word Mamaroneck, and probably everybody else knew this but me, but the word Mamaroneck means a gathering place. So for those of us who didn't know that, I thought that was really interesting and something that we could use. I love the idea of Mamaroneck, a gathering place for art, just to kind of contain what we're doing. In a repeated way. So whether we're doing art on the avenue, we are a gathering place for art. Whether, the mass.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, I'm always for any idea or metaphor that kind of contains an idea and gives us an identity. So I just wanted to share that. The next thing, sorry?
Marina, on the avenue right now are the corn husks and scarecrows and things like that. Who initiated that? Department of Transportation?
That was initiated between the manager's office, recreation department. It was something to a recreation program for people to take advantage of in a time when we can't offer the recreation programs we usually want to offer. We can't do spectacular this year.
It's well done, but I just want to know how or why and
Yeah, it's a good
we develop
question.
or
I don't,
not.
no idea. Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Jason.
Yes.
So, Nora, would you mind telling us a little bit about the Black Lives Matters?
So Yeah, so there was I don't, in fact, I'm not, Dan, if I send you the picture, can you share the screen?
Yes. Well, can you email? Let me give me a second so I can get my phone so I can forward to my. I'm at home, so I'm on my personal email address.
I'm using two different computers, so I can't share the screen.
Okay. Well, let me give you my personal email address.
Okay.
DANO _
DA, no secrets anymore.
I know. We're all ready to stand down.
At yahoo.com.
Your secret's good with us.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be because I'm going to like send it to everybody, but hold on. Okay. So anyway, so there's a proposal to do a Black Matter mural, and it got approved, finally got approved last night. And it's going to be, I'm going to send the image, but it's going to be, do you know where Van Rant's place is? So, or where Columbus Park is? So it's going to be right off Mamaroneck Avenue at there's a Y, so you can turn, Van Rant's place goes between sort of where the Hess station used to be, Speedway, and Mamaroneck Avenue. So there's a Y at Mamaroneck Avenue, and it's going to be at the prong of the Y if you're facing Mamaroneck Avenue on the left, and it's going to be the writing starting at Mamaroneck Avenue. So let me just see if I can get this. Hold on.
Behave, please.
Anyway, so it's going to be painted on
October 24th, Saturday, I think.
Yes, it's going to be painted on October 24th, Saturday. I think they're going to try and start lighting it, like marking it out on Friday the 23rd. And it will be painted by groups of volunteers who are socially distanced. And so, I mean, I think anybody can volunteer. Anybody who has any particular artistic ability and wants to do it, please.
How large is it, Nora?
What did you
I want to say maybe 20 feet. Let me just see if I can. Okay, let me forward this to Dan, and then he can share the image.
In case you got it wrong, I just messaged you my email address.
Nora, who initiated this?
I think I got it.
Black Lives Matter.
So it was initiated by a group of residents, including Winchester.
Yeah.
It's a Gmail, right? No, Yahoo. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah. Was it Miss Allen? Levitt?
Yes, and Levette Allen, and I'm not sure who else. Okay, I'm just going to send it. Okay, I think it went. So, and it was initially proposed to be on Madison Street, which is sort of, you know, it's between White Plains Road and Grand Street, and it's parallel to Mamaroneck Avenue, and that was a residential location. So it seemed that this would be a better location. So this is, so I just sent it. I don't know if did you get it, Dan?
Not yet, but.
Oh, wait a minute. Why don't I just send it to the whole Arts Council? Hold on.
I got a roster from you, Nora.
I just got that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Let me add Carrie and.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Do you want me to go ahead with the next point?
So anyway, so if you look at it, it just should have come. It's the second image, it's the lower image, and so it's black in black, lives in red, and matter in green. And then there are two Sankofa birds that are bracketing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I would say maybe that's 25 or 30 feet most.
Yeah, it's big. Does everybody have it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it'd be nice if Dan, if you can put it on the, I guess we should put it on the screen just to comply with open meetings law if you can.
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
I don't have it.
So Nora, you said it's the second image, so it actually starts within the Y.
Yes, it's along the Y. It's not the first one. It's along the Y.
Okay.
They thought that would be better. I think the idea was that it was visible from Mamaroneck Avenue.
I agree. I
yeah.
live there. I live right here. That's why I'm asking.
You live near there. That's right, you do. Yeah. So.
About 100
Oh, I
feet,
see.
about
Okay.
50 feet away.
Oh my gosh.
Nathan,
I didn't get it.
did you send it to the emails?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I didn't get it. I don't think you have my email address.
Do it for our meeting.
Oh, you know, Robin, let me send it. You're not on the list. Okay.
Why not?
Because you're not on the Arts Council anymore. I think that's it. So.
And I'm a volunteer, so I didn't get it either.
Right. So hold on. Let me.
I'm a volunteer.
Hold on.
Whoops.
Let me send it to both of. Let me just send it. Okay. 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 Now it says I forwarded it. Oh, God.
What else do we need to know about it while we're waiting for the image? It's happening on Saturday, the 24th. Anybody's welcome to do it. Do you know the times, Nora?
No, I don't know. We don't know the times yet.
So we'll send that around to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't receive that. I just messaged you my email address, Nora, just to make sure you got it right.
Oh, did you do it to my village cell phone though?
No, if you look on the chat,
okay.
where it says participants polls chat,
Okay.
it's a message for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me try this again. Oh, okay.
Right. So something earlier to Marina, maybe we're coming up on the 125th anniversary of the village in 33 days. So if you want to, if there's anything the Art Council can do, I'm working with LMC to maybe do some sort of program for public access. Obviously, no one is in the mood to have a full-fledged celebration this year, nor can we for the most part. But we're trying to think of something we can do.
What is the date?
November 16th, 2020 will be the 125th anniversary of the incorporation of the village.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I still didn't get it.
I didn't get it either.
Oh, I'm trying to find your emails. Hold on. Okay, Melissa.
Yeah.
So you're doing something with LMC TV so far?
Yeah, we're gonna, I spoke to them this morning and we're gonna try and set something up for next Monday to think about what we can do. We think maybe do a series of, programs or something over the course of, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that week. November 16th is a Monday, so we're gonna have a idea meeting next Monday to see what we can do given the time constraints. And it's, like I said, it's we had talked about this last year as a staff, but obviously things have changed in the last 6 months, and it wasn't high on our priority list to figure out how to properly document and celebrate the 125th anniversary of the village.
It's interesting.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, no, we're thinking maybe something with the historical society, the village historian. I mean, I'm not doesn't be part of an LMC, but if there's something that some artistic expression about the village, a poem or something, I'm just spitballing.
Well, I think heritage is such a hot topic. It's a controversial topic and also a hot topic. It's worth looking into from a historical perspective. What can be mined for the village? Anyway, I'm going to think about it myself.
Yeah, I don't know what the time frame is for the next meeting, so.
November 2nd.
So you will be meeting before that. So
we're meeting on the 2nd. Yeah. Larry, what were you saying?
Just somebody who likes history. If it's possible to create before and after pictures, I know you have to go through the archives to do that. What the building looked like then and what's on that spot now. And I'm not sure historically. If you go to Foley's in Larchmont, they have some great photos that sit there about what the main street used to look like. And people are like, wow, look at that. To do that before and after, and also to do some stats. How many people started Mamaroneck? How many people live here today? Just how many places of worship, just so people could see how the community has evolved over time. And then to post that virtually.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, for instance, Westchester County did, everyone thinks of Google Earth and, those beautiful aerial imageries. Westchester County did that for the first time in 1925 and 26. And it's all available on their website. And I've done that at 1 or 2 points where I've, showed what the village looked like in 1925 and now.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, Harbor Island first being built. You can see what Columbus Park used to look like, and before they, rearranged the river, and we can see a lot of things that you take for granted nowadays, and how different it was. You can see things that were being built in 1925 that have been long become village institutions. Like one of my favorites is part of near and dear to my heart is getting the community counseling center building listed on the National Register. And in the 1925 photography, you can see it being built.
Hmm. How old is that schoolhouse? Do we know?
That's 100 years old. So the one that we've moved to the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I think, was that 1700s, Nora?
Yeah, it's been renovated and moved a few times. So
Yeah.
I think it was finally moved about maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to the state about possibly getting that listed, and because it's been moved, it's pretty much a no-go.
Yeah, well, it's not eligible for the National Register.
Yeah.
Is there anything? So I think we can all think about after this meeting if there's anything that we might contribute to that celebration, and get in touch with Dan.
Well, I got your test email, Nora, but not the.
I don't know why. For some reason, the other ones are bouncing.
Okay, I got it, Nora.
Okay. It's not letting me send it to Dan. I don't know why. The test one I cut and pasted. Let me keep trying. Go ahead. So.
I'm going to move on to another email that I got today. I don't know if everybody got this, about that our mayor, Tom Murphy, wrote and invited us to think about joining the village to establish a memorial that honors all village employees and volunteers that had a hand in the pandemic. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
I may have gotten it and not seen it yet. I got a lot of phone calls.
So
mine says Nora and Sally sent it.
Mm-hmm. It comes, they sent it, but it's from him.
Oh, okay. I forwarded it. Dan, he'd sent it to the Arts Council at Gmail, not to the distribution list.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, I don't think I got that.
I didn't get it either.
So we'll make sure
all I got were things about the village, talking about the census, and the village calls me like 10 times to say the same thing. So
yeah, Murphy called.
So I'll tell you, for those that didn't get the email, Tom anyway is initiating the idea of installing a memorial, or at least thinking about some representation that we could support. He wants the Art Council to join the village sometime to unveil it, hopefully after the pandemic's over, maybe the end of 2021, next year. So just from this email, I understand that that he and the village would like us to think about it, the Arts Council, what we might do. And I think we're just going to put it on the table for the next meeting, because we've already almost run out of time. Yeah. But if anybody has any ideas, the one idea that I was thinking about was instead of a memorial, I didn't even talk to you about this, Nora, today, but is the idea of perhaps doing a tribute, something a little bit more live rather than a memorial, you know.
Especially if we could do something together and be live.
If we can do something together, or, you know, maybe we can work with LMCTV, you know, and just highlight different people in the village. And I would just love to see something that honors people in real time instead of a monument or a plaque or something like that, if we're going to do something like that.
Yeah,
or you could do both.
Or we can do both, yeah.
Yeah, the Scarecrow Trail now has firemen and medical staff as scarecrows.
Yeah. Very
Right
nice.
right at the opening to the harbor. I saw them this morning when I was walking Coco. I'm like, oh, that's it's very cute.
They're so great. Very nice.
Yeah. So they're the scarecrows are dressed in medical or fireman gear, or police gear.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I think there's like one nurse and a bunch of firemen and police
I
officers.
love that.
So it's
Really
really
cute.
cute. Check it out.
They were all done by individuals, like family groups who signed up to do this past Saturday and the Saturday before.
Yeah, I
The village
love the
provided-
scarecrows. I think they're very cute, but those I saw just today. I don't know what happened to the one that was originally there.
I think they moved some around, but
Oh, okay.
So he's
But I
asked
love the
to think
idea
about,
of the essential workers.
to honor our essential workers, village employees, and village volunteers, anybody that had their hand in making our lives better during COVID. He asked us to think about a location, a design, and to put together a team to make this happen. So
good.
We're not saying we have to do that tonight, but at least in preparation for the next meeting, maybe we can all think about it. We'll send it out on the agenda to remind everybody, but I'd love to come together next time and brainstorm a little bit about this and think if we have a response and if we can join the town on this. So there are two things that we have to get back on to the town, which is one is the village 125th anniversary for Dan, and the other one is this idea of the memorial for essential workers, volunteers, and employees. So those are the two things. Larry?
Is there a projected budget, Nora, or that's totally open right now?
I don't know. There is a budget. I know the Arts Council has some funds. We didn't, even what we budgeted this year didn't get budgeted. So I don't know whether it would be, I guess it depends on, our budget going forward. The budget season starts June 1st. I mean, the budget starts June 1st, so the budget season starts in April. Whether we can carry something over from this year, I think it's pretty much up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, as a staff, we're going to start working on the budget. Next year's budget very soon.
But that's a good question. Probably the less we spend, the better. But there's also the ability to get donations, which the Arts Council has done before.
Either 2 fiscal seasons ago or last fiscal season, I think maybe it was 2, we were allowed to encumber funds for projects that weren't going to be paid until after June, but were being hired or done before June. So we have not used any of our funds, and if we don't use it, correct me if I'm wrong, it goes just into the pot, right? The village pot.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this year starting at our first meeting in December, we're going to have a budget recap to see how we're doing, because everybody is is hemorrhaging with COVID. So who knows what's going to happen, what kinds of cuts are going to have to be made. But so I think we have to figure out, I think part of it is what kind of project could be done, what are the costs of the projects, how do we fund it? So
you may have to get creative on getting other people to fund us. Yeah.
If you want, I can take a look tomorrow to see what's in the. There's a trust fund that the village has.
Right. Yes, we have reserves. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's around $31,000 in that, give or take.
41 now.
No, 31.
Oh, 31. Yeah, maybe a little.
I can confirm it tomorrow. I think it's in that range.
Yeah, we used some of that for the mural, mural project. But
that's 2 years ago now. Can you believe it?
Yeah. No.
Well, if anyone saw the U.S. Open coverage, those murals got a lot of coverage, a lot of airtime.
Oh, good. That's great. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, depending on what the project becomes and how much it is, the Arts Council definitely has some money. I mean, wouldn't want to use all our reserves on that, because if we don't get a budget for next season, that's what we're going to have to use our money from. So
Good point.
You know,
You have to be frugal.
we
Well,
do.
let's see what we come up with
Yeah.
Yeah.
the next meeting. And yeah, I appreciate, Dan, whatever you can find out about our budget. That would be great. I think we're done. I don't have anything else on my list. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share or contribute or think about or mobilize, or do we just want to
good.
Yeah.
Good.
So welcome again, Carrie, and make sure you get your notarized form, if you haven't done it already, back to Nora, back to Sally.
You know, you can notarize over fax with Sally.
Okay.
So, you know, if you don't, I mean, I know, you know, you could also just go to the UPS place, but you can notarize, you can do it with Sally, and she's been doing that. So she'll do the paperwork.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
She's got many skills, that Sally Roberts.
So thanks everybody for coming and making the time for tonight. November 2nd, Violet, reach out if you need any help, which, you know, I imagine you will, because we have to get some things together for the next meeting. So I'm happy to help. And we have to think about those two things for the village. The mask project, I'll be calling, well, actually, we will have just received new masks, hopefully, by the time we have the next meeting. So we'll have that update, and then we can look at who's going to be sewing for us. And
So
that's
somebody needs to say we're going to close and second it, I guess.
Yep. So who wants to adjourn the meeting?
I'll adjourn.
Sherry. I second.
No.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.